Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I am Arista from the fourth group with my friend Muhlis Darmawan. We will discuss about a journal from Palembang University by Ayu Paramitasari entitled The Advantages and Disadvantages of English Learning for Early Childhood Education in Indonesia. First thing first, language is a tool. Language is essentially a means of communication amongst the human of a society. Language is important because everything that humans do with each other is with this media. People talk with each other by talking. Language is a tool that conveys tradition and values related to a group identity. So that's why language has a lot of differences. Language is a system that they are produced by the human form of sounds of human utterances that are meaningful, that are conventional, unique, universal, and language is the identity of the speaker. Indonesia still has language to unite the various languages in Indonesia called Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language. It is a language that we use every day and it is also the national language in our country. Bahasa itself has several rules that must be obeyed. Bahasa Indonesia is a tool for social integration. It has a role as a messenger of information. In the current era of globalization, Bahasa Indonesia as a national language is used as all aspect, like in the government, education, science, and business and administrative. Nowadays, English is a language that great demand at the people in Indonesia. Not only Indonesia, but I think all of the country in the world, because the era of the globalization, and then the international language used is English itself. English, which is a foreign language in Indonesia, it's of course have a lot of differences between our mother tongue or Bahasa Indonesia. Whether the grammar, the use of the letters, and how to speak is very different. However, now, learning English in Indonesia at the era of the globalization is really important. In Indonesia, although English has not used in a society as a medium of communication at official domain like the government, law of courts, educational system, and it's not accorded to any special country's language legislation. It's still seen a priority. English importance of the particular because the economics and business, education, communication, international travel and safety. And we know the fact that everyone doesn't not close the possibility to speak more than one language with learn or we call bilingualism. Even it depends on the backgrounds and the situation and conditions faced by the speaker of on the act of speaking. The benefit of learning foreign language can be immediately apparent, like communication skills and then cognitive skills, and then there can be a downside as well. From infancy, the adult and old, human will experience development in their language abilities. Meanwhile, the most ideal period to teaching language or language teaching is when the child, the language teaching is given if the child is still in preschool age children. Bilingual preschooler have a great flexibility or cognitive flexibility. In other words, children have the ability to not just think of two concepts, but in several ones simultaneously. It will facilitate the learning process in the high school because they were trained to be critical thinkers. Many studies shows that children who received education in preschool or kindergarten have higher ability than the kids or the children who do not enter kindergarten, especially in the creativity, ability, motivation, and then initiative. Early childhood education is considered important because it builds the most effective characters at the earliest possible age. Therefore, a good environment will be form positive characters and positive influence. They will be able to face challenges in his life and whether to show the high enthusiasm in learn and succeed in their work. In its own development, kindergarten or playgroup is needed to introduce children about a national language. They have to learn and understand them. The skills of children in Indonesian language need to be honed yearly so that children are accustomed interacting with Indonesian, so that in the future it will support the smooth running of children in communicating using Indonesia.
Learning a new language offers fantastic benefit for people all of ages. Speaking a second language opens doors to learning a new culture and new idea, as well as provides access to exciting social and professional opportunities. Children have an advantage when it comes to learning language due to their talent for absorbing new information and new language easily. The positive impact when children learn a foreign language. First, it creates an opportunity for early diversity. When children learn a foreign language, they develop a natural, native-like accent. Learning a foreign language can lead to better opportunities both in college and in their career. Second, multilingualism improves a person's working memory. According to the American Council on Teaching Foreign Language, children who begin to learning a foreign language in early childhood demonstrate a certain cognitive advance over children who do not. A multilingual education works to improve the working memory of the individual learning multiple secondary languages. This improvement provides for better information processing capabilities when there are idea, concept, and real-life experience. Third, grow children's creativity and imagination. Providing institution for early childhood education is the right place to facilitate the needs of the child. If your children learn in a pleasant atmosphere, it will be easier for him to absorb the various guidance given. Fourth, building confidence and understanding. Children who begin to study and master a foreign language achieve greater confidence as they go along. And again, the ability to communicate with people outside their immediate language group. The disadvantages of the learning for early childhood education. Children who learn foreign language in early age can feel bored with the material and regulation that he gets both at school and at home. The second is language decline. When a child is learning mother tongue but is also learning a foreign language, it can cause misunderstanding and hinder language mastery. Children will be confused about which one is the first language and second language or foreign language. In fact, not infrequently, the new vocabulary of children does not increase due to confusion with accent and language he is learning. Third, cultural confusion. Introduction foreign language to children at an early age can cause children to forget their original culture. Before you introduce foreign language to children, it is important to know if this step can be negative. Children can be confused with their own culture and even forget about the culture. That brings us to the end of our presentation. In brief, language is a communication tool used by everyone in their daily life as a means to convey information and argument to others. In this case, the language cannot be separated from culture because language represents its nation and has close relation to the attitude or behavior of groups of speakers of the language. Second language learning, in addition to having a positive learning, which is able to increase children's language acquisition, also has a negative influence on children's language development. That is able to dissolve the spirit of nationalism and pride in this own language and culture. Students must also realize that the second language doesn't make them forget their own culture. Students in the midst of globalization must continue to maintain the attitude of nationalism so that it is not tossed around and still has its identity as an Indonesian nation. Maybe that's enough of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.